Hi there. I hope you are well. I wanted to just drop on this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever time of day it is that you watch this video. And I want to share a little piece of my heart with you and a little bit of what's stirring through me at this time. And this beautiful, profound time of equinox and autumn here in the UK. And full moon, it's been a really powerful full moon and eclipse season and the end of what has been a really busy summer. And I'm leaning into what next? What next for me personally? What next for our community? And what next for the collaboration of what is being called forward for us, for humanity right now, as I feel it and see it and connect with it. So I'm going to take you on a little journey, a little story. Grab a cuppa if you need to. I'm not sure how long it will take, probably not long. And I've shared bits of this story before if you've known me for a while or you've been watching this channel, whether you're here on YouTube or on TikTok or on, how else might you have found us? Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, whatever way you found us, I want to share this with you. My name's Laura, for those of you that haven't met me before, and I'm the founder of Sacredistic Community. And if anyone had ever told me that I would be sitting here now, 4 years into creating this community, and I would have been working with women, I'd have thought, I am mad. No way. There is no way that I am going to be the person who stands up in front of anyone and shares a different way of being with them. And I recognize that this story, my story, is not just mine. It's her story. You know, we get caught in history, but actually this is her story. This is the story that many of us carry and the wound that many of us carry as women. So I felt that there was no way I was going to ever lead a community, ever set something up with women. And this is because I fundamentally had no connection to women. I had no real connection to myself as a woman. And so therefore, I found myself in a position 4 years ago when lockdown happened, like many of us, with a career that has spanned 30 years with women. And it took me a long time to recognize that's what I've been doing. I've been a beauty therapist, working in spas and owning my own businesses. And I had listened to probably 40,000 plus women's stories over that time. And there was a deepening of myself in that moment of recognition of the reason that I had heard all those women's stories was not because I'd invited them. It's because I'd created a space that was safe enough for them to feel they could share their stories with me. No one comes in for a leg wax, doesn't want to tell you what's going on in their life. So I've been privileged over my career to listen to many, many women's stories. And from that place, there's lots of things that bounced off of that recognition, and Sacred Sister was one of them. I also recognized that if I was going to do this work, I had to start deepening my connections. Deepening my connection fundamentally with myself to heal those wounds that I had been carrying for all of my life. When I went to even nursery school, like I had a few friends, but most of them were boys. I didn't want to be with the girls. The girls were a bit mean. I hung out with my teacher, who was lovely, and I'd spent time with her. When I went to school, it was pretty much the same. And I had a male teacher, and I loved him. He was like my absolute go-to. And I had the same male teacher for years, didn't seem to change. You know how in school you usually change teachers, seemed to have him. And then I had an older lady, beautiful, beautiful soul, who is still in my mum's life up until a few years ago when she passed. And she was my teacher. So I had like two main teachers throughout kind of my education in my younger years. And there was something about that that really deeply connected me to who I am as a person now. But I didn't have connection with women. My connection with my mum was great, but quite superficial now I look at it. My grandma, great, again, fairly superficial. And then as I went through my teenage years, I now know, navigating with ADHD, but in that time, I just figured I was a bit weird and a bit different and didn't really like girls. Couldn't really get on with them, didn't really know how to. And so I was always the, square peg in a round hole. And so fast forwarding then into my career of working with women, and then fast forwarding into years and years and years of working with women in the spa industry, and then women in festival world, and then kind of creating the sisterhood, I was like, no way. So that connection first came where I had to connect with myself and work on what needed to heal within me to be able to create those safer spaces for other women. It then came into what was it to create those safer spaces for other women to be in my field and to feel like they could dive into that connection with themselves and with each other. And then what was my connection to nature? Because my nervous system rests when I'm in nature. We are nature. We are the outside world on the inside. So those are the three things that I really want to connect Sacred Sister back to, is our connection with ourselves, our connection with each other, and our connection with nature. That's what it was always there for. When I met my business partner, my late business partner, 10, 11 years ago now, we created a business called Making a Difference. And Making a Difference was all about those connections. It was about supporting people to become more organic, more chemical free, more available, excuse the dog, more available to heal the world and heal the earth from a place of our own responsibility. And he used to say to me, this change will happen through women. So I need you to be the front runner. And I used to be like, no way. You're the showman. This is your bag. This is your excitement. This is your thing. This is not about me. And he sadly passed away. And in his passing, he had organized me to have this reading. And I went for this reading after he'd passed away, and she beautifully said to me, making a difference as it was is done. He would not have been able to go if it hadn't have kind of run its course, but it will come back round. And I was a little bit like, no, it's kind of a massive project, way too big for me. And yet I know that he has been instrumental in my life since that moment, 9 years ago when he passed. And I can see how Sacred Sister is that opportunity in another way. It's that opportunity for us to really step up as women and heal. And in doing so, we make different choices. We make different choices in the way that we are together, in our families, in our connections, the way that we show up for the world, the way that we show up in nature, the way that we show up on the earth. We make different connections when we feel more connected. And so I can see now how this is coming around. I can see that it's not in one space, it's in many. It's not just in the online world, the gatherings, the retreats. the circles, all of that is powerful, but it's actually in how we interact with each other as women every day. Is actually how we interact with ourselves in each moment every day, and how we interact with our world, nature, Mother Earth. So I have an invitation for you. And that invitation is to connect more fully in some way with sisterhood. Now, like me, many years ago, that thought may absolutely freak you out. You may not consider that being around women is safe. I was that person. I still am that person. But I'm going to invite you to explore more fully with me a way of being together that brings about connection, that brings about safety, that brings about a sacred sister code that is how we show up with and for each other. From that place, I want to begin to share with you what that code looks like as you take it out into the world, as you connect more fully with spaces within your own communities, spaces within your own classes, spaces within your own friendships, your families. And from there, we grow. From there, we have this beautiful web that we weave across the world. And that might seem massive and a bit scary, because it is massive and a bit scary, but it's time. It really is time. And I'm ready, but I can't do it on my own. It actually makes me feel really emotional. The thought of what it would be to really have healed the patriarchal hiss story and to be able to really recreate a new way of being in this world that's a remembering. It's a remembering of how life used to be, of how life could be, a remembering of what it is for women to stand in solidarity together and not be in competition with each other. A remembering that our nervous systems need and are crying out for, so that we can feel safe in our own bodies, in our own skins, with each other, and at large in the world. So keep leaning in, keep watching our spaces, keep making sure that you're connecting to our emails, to our newsletters, to our website. If you feel a deeper calling to start to create these spaces in your own communities, come and do some training with us. Come and be a part of our circle training and keep watching these spaces, because I'm going to start to really share more free resources on how we can get this world singing a different song. My ears tickling, and that's always a sign for me that we're on a path, on the right path. So that's where we're headed. And I want to invite you to join me. And I want to invite you to lean in. And we're going to go on this journey of really healing these deep wounds that we carry as women, so that we can begin to fully trust each other and know that you are never, ever alone. But we can't support each other if we don't lean in. You are not a burden to me. I am not a burden to you. I want to hear your story. I want to connect with you. I want to be here to support you when I can. That is my act of service here on the planet right now. That's what I'm doing this job for. Job in inverted commas. It's what I live my life for. So lean in, connect, share this story, tell your own. Let's begin to really feel into what it is to be a deeper more understanding, more nurturing, more nourishing sisterhood without the need to fix each other. I don't need to fix you. You are not broken. I don't need to rescue you. There is nothing wrong. I don't need to constantly give you advice. I just want to hear you. And I don't need to project all over you what might be happening for you. I want to hear your story. How often do you get a place in the world just to offload what's going on for you without anyone wanting to fix you? You're not broken. So keep leaning in. Keep watching this space. And keep sharing your beautiful brilliance into the world. Your unique self is amazing, just as you are. Take care. I look forward to sharing more with you. There's all sorts happening. There's a journal, there's a podcast. Oh, there's a potential of a much bigger gathering next year. I'm talking to some amazing women about how we create something really magical in the world. And I want you to be a part of it if it's resonating with you. So take care. I need to go and make this happen. And I need you. We are a community. And a community can't have one person at the head of it doing all the work. A community needs us all. So one of the other things, you tell my ADHD brain is kicking in, is that I'm looking for some ambassadors. Some women who really want to get behind what we do, who really want to come on some free training with me to understand more about what it is we're sharing, to bring community circles into the world, into your area, to support that growth and to really connect in. And if you're watching this somewhere else in the world, that's fine too. Come, you're welcome. And I'm not special. I am not special. I'm just listening. Take it easy. Lots of love.